Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Friday morning programming right here on A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. My name is William Karim, and Friday mornings what we do is we do a cultural connection with American Muslim 360 with our co-host, Sister Martha Nailah Williams. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Martha.
Alaikum assalam. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to say that I heard your presentation this morning, and it's very good information. And I'm sure that the people that were listening on American Muslim 360 got some very good information out of it. Uh, I'd like to thank all the people that are listening on American Muslim 360 and A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio for being with us today. And inshallah, this is our Juma Friday. And we pray that maybe there may be something that we may be able to say or show that will aid and assist you in the most positive and constructive parts of your life. And I say that on the basis because, the word that you used in your presentation, Sister Martha, was skeptic. And this can be a very skeptical time, especially with all that's going on in the world. And sometimes we don't know what's true and what's false, or when someone gives us something, we don't know whether we should trust it or not because it's just not clear and trustworthy to that degree. And so the whole idea about misinformation is another
Mhm.
point that you made in the process of making that point about misinformation. It's interesting that we live in a society. We live in a society that misinforms us rather than informs us. And so what do we do? And on that basis, you mentioned something. You said faith revealed revelation. And that's what truth is. Faith revealed revelation, and faith revealed revelation is the truth that the creator of the heavens and the earth has put in his creation, that the human being has been able to follow up to this point in our development as human beings. There's nothing, there is a prophet that we studied, I believe it was last week, Solomon. And the Bible quotes him as in Ecclesiastics as saying, "Vanity of vanity, vanity of vanity, all is vanity and a chasing after wind." There's nothing new under the sun. And basically, what that means is that, like the human being from the very beginning of time has discovered these faith revealed revelations that he has found in creation, and he just continues to repeat that pattern, maybe on a higher level. This whole idea about artificial intelligence is exactly what it is. It's intelligence that's already been revealed, and he's trying to make it his own. That's what artificial intelligence is. That's what a drone is. A drone got its idea from the airplane. The airplane got its idea from the bird. But the bird is the true revelation that the creator has put in the creation, and the human being has only made a pattern of that revelation and was able to make the airplane, was able to make the drone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, these are important parts. And unfortunately, Sister Martha also mentioned the whole idea about the hostile environment. The human being has always lived, and we have always lived in a hostile environment from the very beginning of time. As a matter of fact, the holy prophets, their strength, their courage was to
Mhm.
bring the revelation from the creator of the heavens and the earth into a hostile environment. And people wanted to kill them because they were bringing the word of the creator into the hostile environment to make them think or to have them consider for themselves, what you're doing, and maybe you should go in a different direction. Like, look, let's get rid of this guy because, let's get rid of him because, like, this is what happened with Jesus. This is what happened with Moses. This is what happened with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. All these prophets from Adam to Prophet Muhammad have always come into all these hostile environments. And two things that the prophets did: either when it got so bad for the prophets, they had to leave because the environment just got to be too hostile for them.
Mhm.
Another action that I wanted to mention was something else that you mentioned about trust. Trust that
Mhm.
small actions can make a big difference, but you have to first take the small action.
That's right.
Especially that situation that you mentioned about your husband and you moving into the house, and the people didn't know you. They
They
didn't know
didn't
you,
know. Mm-mm.
but they were skeptical they were skeptics. And
Call the police.
that's how people are.
But that's how you really protect.
And you have to expect that from
Mhm.
people, that they're going to be skeptical because they don't know you.
Mhm.
They don't trust you. And trust is something that has to be built with small actions that make a big difference over a period of time. Because once they get to know you, once they see you in the environment, they're like, oh, okay. I've seen that person in the environment before. I've seen them moving around in the environment, and they haven't caused any harm. Okay, all right, all right, and a little bit more trust. We'll start to develop. Um, yeah, I wanted to ask you a question, though, Sister Martha, because there were two words and Sister Martha is um uh, our our Quranic scholar, one of our Quranic scholars, and
Student
she
on
was like,
time.
"Whoa!" And maybe this is something that you explain to me, because what I heard you say was about the fitra
Okay.
in your conversation, and I've always had a difficult time with that word fitra,
Uh-huh.
because it means so much.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot. And, so there are many ways that we here in the community, Imam W.D. Muhammad, in our conversations on American Muslim 360, on the New Day Community Radio, we have used the word fitra. It's the fitra. It's the fitra. It's the fitra. It's the fitra. But me, as being a English speaking, from American culture, I I don't have one word to actually define fitra, because fitra is an Arabic word that encompasses a lot. And so this is what I've come to find, is that this is the reason why many of us from the Muslim American community will study Arabic, so that we get the full understanding of the Arabic words, which help to expand our our understanding of things to that degree. So I've said all that, Sister Martha, so that I could ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
What I know that there is a connection between the word fitra and fitna.
Oh, okay. Let me go right there, because now you can hear the fitna in
Right.
in uh in your asking the question. Uh, one moment, so I can prepare here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, okay. All right. That's great. And this is an important question for us, especially our listeners, because many of our listeners, that's why we say we're thankful that you're here, because we'd rather have you here listening with us than to listen to the misinformation that is on many of these mainstream media channels. Not to say that all mainstream media channels are, but there's just so much information. So we're very thankful that you're here with us listening. And again, as we are speaking, if you decide that you want to add to the conversation, please, just raise your hand, open your microphone, and we would be happy to have you. So now Sister Martha has pulled up. Something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we heard you, Muhammad Sharif.
Right. I want to say, ask some who is upset. One that is, maybe played the man, Karim Swave, a 5 or 6 lecture, right? Karim Swave.
We'll take the question, even though we're talking about fitra and etc. But what is your question, Muhammad Sharif?
A question where you get opportunity is what you repay Imam Karim Swave.
Not today. We're talking about the Arabic word fitna right now. That's what we're talking about. We're not we played Fahim Shuaib, Imam Fahim Shuaib, our great Muslims Imam from Oakland, California. We played him on Wednesday. So we won't be playing him today, but we're talking about the Arabic word fitra and fitna right now. Thank you, brother.
Okay, I have a question for you then. When will you be able to pay Imam Fahim Sway on wealth accumulation and preservation?
Well, we're not going to be playing that, Muhammad. We're not going to be playing that.
You're not going to play at all?
No, we're talking about the Arabic word fitna and fitra today. That's what we're going to.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is because he speaks about wealth accumulation.
Yeah, and that's not what but that's not what we're talking about today.
Okay, well, when can you bring it on, Brother William? Anytime? Can you bring?
That's not on the program.
Speak about wealth creation?
Well, that's not on our program right now, Muhammad, but I would recommend that you could go to Fahim, our brother Imam Fahim Suwaib's page, Sabila at AOL.com, or you can go to Masjid Warathuddin and you can do it. You can look for that or put in I would also recommend that you can put in Fahim Shuaib Wealth Creation in YouTube, and you might be able to pull it up. Okay? All right. Sister Martha, thank you for your patience. Go ahead, Sister Martha.
All right. I'm going to first share here on fitna. And for those who have the Omar Dictionary, is on page 416, fatana. All right. I want to show the believe it or not, in Revelation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who denoted or made the words that are chosen. And we then, of course, strive to understand and the context of the word being used. But as it is in Arabia, as you see the shape of those letters, I'm not going to go into that. I'm speaking of the connection that you see. You see the one dot, that's the F right there. The two dot together, that's the T. All right. The one dot over this particular line is an N. And this on the end of the word here, the two dot is a ta, the same T that was in the middle, and a ha connection. That ha is that oval shape or that circle on the end of the letter. And that's what lets us know whether feminine or masculine, or feminine mostly with this ha. All right. But now that word itself, the Arabic word fitna, literally means a test, a trial through temptation, or through civil strife. Its root meaning comes from let's see, melting gold, or now you were using the reference of the bird and the what we get from it, what we learn from it. So from melting gold or silver is sending that particular material through hardness, right? Through hard times. So melting, that means fire, gold or silver in a fire in order to separate the pure metal from the impurities. So when we go through a stress or strain or a trial or a test, it's bringing us to the best to the top. That is the expectation. But now those who cause the fitna, that's what we usually hear, that somebody caused fitna. Now, in their mind and their intention may be to cause trouble. That's what we usually say. They're causing fitna. We're talking trouble. But the actual thing is, as the onto Imam Fahim Shuaib, as he said during a Jumu'ah, he was constantly seeing this one particular person that was closer in his presence. And during Jumu'ah, they were shifting, moving. Their body movements were constant. And he didn't know why, but he cautioned the person, that let them know it was disturbing him giving the presentation, the khutbah. So now, after the person kept coming and kept doing that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with this insight. That person is your trial, is your test. And the moment he stopped acknowledging it and just continued and brought forth the strength of delivering the message, the person stopped coming. So it brought out the best in him when he allowed himself to understand what was happening. So, we don't want to be on the end of being the one to cause fitna, just have an argument or just because, or do something displaying an action or something just because to create a situation in a person's life that we're causing the problem. But it is a test, it is a trial. And the going through that, it reveals a person's true character and faith. As you can see here in the writing of the word. For those on the phone, I'm reading it to you. So the core meaning is the heating metal in a furnace or in a fire. Is to bring out the pureness of it, or the purity away from or separate it from the impurities.
Okay, so now how does the word fitra, or
Okay.
does the word fitra have anything to, is when we break down, if you're supposed to break down fitra, does that have anything, is there a connection?
I would say not in the sense of this. Here, you see the writing of this particular word?
Yes.
So that tab, because you hear the T, there are two distinct T sounding. This one, just like it's looped over like your eye, if you looked at it, oval shape, it sounds with the mouth open, just like, rounded, just like that. Fito. So you're doing the taw rather than the te, with the tongue to the front of the mouth. So this taw, you're sinking your tongue downward. So this is fitora, or fatara. And its Arabic verb means to create, originate, or split, cleave, split, and it serves as the root for uh, the key concepts like fitrah, the innate human nature, and fatir, the creator. So the creator created everything from nothing, absolutely nothing. What we can put our hands on and say, Allah, just be, and it is. So to originate, that's what the fatara refers to, is the origin of life that the creator owns, and the origin of our patterns, that we follow the principles and the laws of this pattern. We eat, we take something in, something's got to come out. There's a balance. We breathe in, we have to blow it out. We have to breathe out. That's a law. So that law was originated by Allah. So fatara, even the split means like molecules. Scientifically, they said they've seen under the scope that molecules split, but they reconnect or they connect at some point. And the discipline that we've come to understand of the pattern is that from the newborn state of being, from that liquid substance that originated by Allah, but in its composition, it was given the discipline to grow.
Well,
And
that sounds like, and please just
Mhm.
entertain me for a moment.
Yes. Let me make a comment after you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it sounds like the whole idea of fitara is that the fitna is the struggle to create. Because in order for something to originate or something to create, Allah says be, and it is, that there's a struggle connection it has to go through in order to establish itself to be pure. And that sounds like the same thing that happens with the combination with fitna to some degree. You follow what I'm trying to say?
Well, and now the fatara, I won't say is a test. It's not a test or a trial, but the fitna is. So if you say the fitna, with the struggle of the connection of the sperm and the ovum to go through its test and its trial that way, but it's the fitna is not an origination creation that is it's originated by Allah, that we are going to go through the trials and tests, but not in the sense of the physical presentation of the fatara process.
Okay.
That makes sense. The
Yeah.
fatara is like the semen actually exists before even though the test will come, but you need something for the test to be done upon.
Yeah, but in order for the semen to exist, it had to go through that struggle in order to burn out its impurity and establish itself to be as an and it.
Once it was here, though, but Allah created it. The fatara is the process that Allah created. Everything originated it. So,
Right. And
so
it's a
that's
struggle.
the air to exist, or our skin to exist, is not a struggle. It's Allah says commanding it, and it be. But now then the test comes after it is in existence.
Okay. Let's
That's
hear
it.
what
Okay.
Ishmael. Let's hear what
Alhamdulillah.
Ishmael.
At least that's my thinking on it. From what
Good. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah, I
Ishmael.
came in right when you talking about fitna, then we went to fitra. And I agree, they don't share the same root. So, and I would say I agree with both that they're opposite in functionality in a way. Because like say fitna is that test, that trial that disturbs the order. And then the fitra is our original healthy pattern. So for me, I look at the fitra as that straight line Allah drew you in. And then that fitness, the forces that take us off of that line, that moves us from off of that straight line that we should be on. So I think I'm saying what both of you are saying, in a way. So in short, the fitra is our original God-given nature, and the fitness, the trials, the temptations, the disturbances that we that try to pull you away from that original nature. So I think they do connect, but it's functionality, not in the root word of it. And I'll stop there.
Yeah. Well, I would just say that, like in understanding the faith-based revelation that Sister Martha, so accurately gave us, the faith-based revelation that Allah has already showed us as being part of His creation, has already showed us that um, that truth is a struggle in the human creation to establish itself. That I'm getting some background sound. Just give me one moment. Let me see where I
Okay.
find that coming from. I think that's coming from Sharif. So I stopped his telephone. But the whole idea of Allah's creation has to do with the struggle to exist. It has to do with that. The whole idea of being an original creation. An original creation is made up of elements that had to struggle to establish itself. And in the process of establishing itself, yeah, that's the origination of it. But which is the original creation, which is from what I'm understanding, I'm with you all. We're just talking from what we're understanding that the fitra has that that which has been established in Allah's creation, that which is established in the environment. It is a hostile environment. But what has happened is that the struggle has allowed, the be and it is to happen for all these things to continue to exist to that degree. And so the fitna winds up being, those things that especially, and we talk about it on the basis of what we say that it just relates to the human creation. The fitna only occurs to the human creation on a mental and spiritual level, as opposed to the fitra is on a physical level. Your thoughts?
Okay. I would say, uh, in imagining that when we think of an atom, that atom before its existence, we now know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called that atom to exist. So the atom then didn't have to contend with anything. But now once it's here and it had to connect and become a molecule. And that molecule is going. So that process there can say that it is the testing. Now the atom is going through the testing, but the atom's creation was not a testing. Allah gave it life. But now the molecules and then the cells for us to become the skin and the neck and whatever, the tonsils and all these parts, they went through testings to connect and do as Allah willed it in a principled way. But now, once, like you mentioned too, the knowledge, once we, the conscious entity that became a part of this life, now that's what gets another kind of test. The other testing is on its capability, is already was given the ability to remember the submission part. Everything of the Malak had to submit, and that's what happened. So now, once the consciousness though is here, the ability to hear, see, feel, and think and comply or reason, that part becomes now the test. We have an original pattern that we have to follow, the principles, the laws that's governing everything. We have to follow it. It becomes a test. Are we going to follow it or are we not? And whatever. But the natural order, or are we going to cause us, and something's going to cause us to be displaced out away from the natural, as Ishmael was saying. So yes, I agree with you on the consciousness, the mental, spiritual behavior of the human being. The human intellect now is sharing information. Now the ability to reason though and to think things through becomes the test. What decisions are we going to make? That all of that. So yes, that becomes, it can be create as a become a fitna, because we're being tried, but we're being tried to make the best decision, right? At that moment. And if we,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and
why we're being tempted.
that's what that whole the whole idea, the way that is that uh that is the pattern. that the creator has put in the fitra, or has put in the hostile environment, because it is the hostile environment that, you know, burns the gold out of its impurities.
Mhm.
It can, but and I say this on the basis of this, that there are a lot of there are, you know, going back now into the human factor,
Mhm.
you know, and especially as you know, started from the very beginning, and it's really had something that I really had wanted to talk about, and we'll talk about it on Sunday. As far as I went to see a movie called The Odyssey, and I wanted to talk about that, but I thought that this was important, but it's relative. You know,
Okay.
the movie, the Odyssey is relative, and I watched a series called The Game of Thrones, and many of you may not have, but I think that there's some relative ideas that we can get to that. And when we, inshallah, when we do the show on Sunday, uh, cultural insights, you know, we'll get into that to that degree. But right now we have been talking about, you know, the presentation that Sister Martha has made about being skeptical and misinformation, and the hostile environment, and this whole idea about, you know, faith revealed revelation. We're fortunate, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, that are with us today, that we know what the truth is, that the truth is this faith-based revelation that comes from it. There are a lot of people that don't know that. There are many people that know, and that's why you're here on American Muslim 360 and the New Day Community Radio, because you are getting this information. You are participating in this, information that our prophets had to struggle with, and we're struggling with it today. We're the we're the prophets today.
Believe it.
we, we're the so that, and what, Sister Martha was talking about, as far as establishing trust, about doing things on a daily basis, about doing things on a weekly basis. That's our responsibility. As far as it's the same thing the prophets was doing. We're doing it on a smaller scale, you know,
Local, very local, right?
very local. You know, the neighbor down the hall.
I mean, or right across the, even if you're in the hospital, or if you're in a nursing facility, or if you're in a community apartment building, yes, they're right across the hallway from you. You open your door, they open their door. Do you speak or do you ignore them? Why? Why are you feeling that way?
And you know,
And that
and it's
fitna, that trial, that test.
and it's important for us to understand this. It's really important for us to understand that white people want to say the word nigger so bad.
Now you know what you just did.
I know I changed it.
You dropped a pebble in the waters.
I did.
It
And
made
I
the
did it
reeds
intent
come.
and I
Ishmael,
did it
come on in,
intentionally.
Ishmael, because he just dropped a pebble.
I did it intentionally too. It's because I see so much stuff on the social media where white folks want to say the word nigga so bad, and then as soon as they say it, a black person, what? Oh, he called me a nigga. He called, but we talk to each other like that. We call each other with in our basic conversation. Each other, yo, man, that nigga scored on 50 points this game. Yo, man, that song that nigga made. So it's okay for us to say it, but then, white folks is like, well, if y'all could say it in the environment, I could put it in the environment too. Why y'all gonna keep us out of that? Y'all want to keep us out of that. So I'm saying that I made that reference, Sister Martha, and everybody else that's listening, is because that's the same way that they feel about Islam. That Islam is in the environment, and they don't want it in the environment because they don't want it in the environment because they can't they can't live it. It's not a word that they can say, but they can't live Islam. They can't live without gambling. They can't live without smoking cigarettes. They can't live without drinking alcohol. So this is the only reason why they don't want Islam in the environment, because Islam means that the women have to cover themselves.
Modesty. They have it all so disoriented.
That's what I'm saying.
Distorted, I should say.
Right, but like this is Islam. We're going to get together today on Friday, and we're going to come together at masjids all over the country, all over the world. We're going to come together and make prayer as a community of people.
Mhm.
Our Christian brothers and sisters are not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They don't have that kind of, they're going to come together. They're going to come together when they're going to see a concert by, one of the popular artists. Oh, that's when they come together. And when they come together to see them, they're going to pay $500 for a ticket to see the latest basketball game. They're going to come together. The team won, but they lost $500 in order for them to come. Oh, you want to come together? Well, listen, you want to come together in my restaurant? Well, you got to pay this amount of money in order to sit with other people that are thinking like that. On Juma Friday, we don't have to pay. Or you pay whatever you want when you make your little charity.
Donate, yes.
Yeah, you make your charity.
Now let's walk back a moment, because when you said the Christians do that, my antenna went up to say, should we label it, or does just though there are people that congregate for purposes other than prayer?
Yeah.
Because
what did the prophets do? The prophets congregated for the purpose of prayer.
Yes, definitely, all of them. So I praise be to Almighty God. So and back to the term al-Islam, to those who have an extreme thinking of it, al-Islam exists, and I'm taking it to its unseen process. Stop breathing if you don't want al-Islam. Stop eating. Stop clothing. Stop doing anything, because al-Islam is in the whole of creation.
I mean, but that's the fitra.
And that's al-Islam. And that's what those who think that it is just the creed and the ones who portray that they believe in the creed or the doctrine or the understand we're reading just as though we read C. Jane Run. Okay, we're reading, and then we close that book and look up and say, oh, it's hot outside. We just read creation. Or, oh, it's about to rain. We just read creation. That's al-Islam. That's following the principles that only the creator could write that book.
Yes. But now again,
whether they follow the principles is another thing.
Right. Well, how do you get someone to understand that in a hostile environment that says that the prophet that they do when they won't follow the prophet Jesus, who didn't eat pork
and didn't and two, listen, it was not the son.
Well, wait a minute, we don't even have to go that far. He didn't eat pork.
Well, that was first. We had to become what they identify as the son before we could eat anything.
I mean, so how the man Jesus didn't eat pork, but it's okay for you to eat pork, and then you're gonna say, yeah, I follow Jesus.
Think about it, the logic of it, right?
Right. His mother, she covered.
Mm-hmm.
The mother covered. Jesus's mother covered. She was the Virgin Mary. And, there were many who said in our environment, man, Mary, how you gonna come here with a child and then come tell us, like you ain't have no relationship with no man? How you gonna? In the Quran it says in the worst way, and there was I've seen revelations in the Quran that says, "Oh Mary, your father was a good man and your mother wasn't a whore." I've seen some translators translate that into English like that. And so Jesus had to come and speak for his mother. My mother is, and my mother is a good woman, etc., etc. She covered in everything. But then you say you have great regard and respect for Mary, the mother of Jesus, and then you want to talk about you a Christian, and I have to say it like that. But yet and yet still we're in a hostile environment that accepts that women can dress the way that they want to dress as Christians. And that's because that's the way that they've interpreted it in the environment. So how are you going to get around that? How are you going to get to the fitra when you got people who have been just totally misinformed?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Totally
Misinformed.
totally misinformed. How are you going to get through that? How are you going to get through that?
Well, what is it? Your duty, your duty is what? To only
Deliver the
deliver
message.
the message, and then you submit, and you submit.
Right. So that's our responsibility as Muslims in the hostile environment. In the hostile environment, that you don't have to be you don't have you're not as a messenger. Each of us as a messenger, we do our part, as Sister Martha said, on a daily basis. We do our part on a daily basis, with those who don't understand, by encouraging the good, being the good, and encouraging the good. And then on a weekly basis, we come together as Muslims in the hostile environment to go ahead and show praise and glorification to the creator of the heavens and the earth. And then what the Quran says, and then it says, and after that, it says, after you get finished prayer, go back, into your work assignment of what it is that you're supposed to do, being among the people. Because our example alone in the environment, our example alone is the message, it is the responsibility that we have.
Yes, and William, to I'm saying the word slice, but if there's any doubt that the design for the male female design, the physical design, if there's any doubt as to how, like you say, the hostile environment, that there's always that test going on, the trials going on. And in this situation, won't be temptation, but when you go to the molecule makeup, and you have the RNA and the DNA, and you have the nucleus, and the ones without a center, ones with, all of that design. When you take that one molecule and look into it, there's that defense barrier, because it recognizes, it's there to recognize a hostile environment, that is in a hostile environment, and that there's going to be those parasites that's going to attack it. So just knowing that that's in operation all day long as we are standing, we're alive, as long as we're living, our body is internally going through that in the bloodstream, in its makeup.
Yes.
It's going through that. So then that rises to the occasion of our mental selves to say, when do you know you're in a hostile environment?
Yes.
And what do? Do you function as that RNA? It will, it can identify the that which is causing the hostility or presenting hostility, and you do the next best thing. And the simple way of it is to remove ourselves from the situation. The RNA has a close up shop kind of thing, will not let you in. And
Yes.
that's another point of it. We will not let you invade my peaceful thinking. Or when something happens and I have you experienced something, your mind is focused on something, and all of a sudden something or somebody appears in your blind side, I guess I could say, and your body goes through a quick freeze, I'm trying to identify that feeling. There's something that the nerves and everything heightens, and it's like the hairs on your body stands up, and you go through that immediate thing and go, oh my God, you scared me.
Yes.
You caught me off guard, so that moment right there when you freeze, it takes, there's something happening in your mind, that your mind is already preparing itself to take on this hostility, whatever is catching you off guard. And you really don't have a chance to organizably
But at least
recognize
but
it.
I mean, but I mean, for you to have the ability to even recognize, you have to even recognize it, because yeah, Kareem, I was coming right to you.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Kareem Hamid, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Kareem.
Yes, wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. Very important subject that you're dealing with. And you are correct, Martha and William. You can enter an environment, you don't see anything that is out of order, but your body senses that, like this phrase, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I began to pant real hard.
Yes.
And I left that environment because the body sends a signal.
Yes.
To us. It does. It speaks to us. And you don't
And
see
you have
anything.
to, and you have to recognize it.
Yes, sir. And don't slough it off. Don't just, go against the signal.
That's
that
right.
your nerve center, your heart is sending to you. This is a toxic environment. Follow that, please. Many of us have experienced that. I'll stop right there, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's the same. It's the same in the hostile environment. I mean, to recognize, I guess that's where people are, that you have to recognize that you're in a hostile environment. You have to recognize that. I've recently recognized that, Popeye's fried chicken is not good for me.
And I'm laughing, but that is reality.
That's a reality. I mean, at one time in my younger days, I could eat Popeye's fried chicken. I went and had some Popeye's fried chicken the other day, and the way that I ordered my Popeye's fried chicken, just, the way I ordered it, I said, yeah, because they got, you can get, 3 pieces for like $6. I was like, oh, they give you a breast wing, and the breast, a leg, a thigh, and I mean, it's just too much chicken for me to eat. So I said, listen, just give me 3 wings. Just give me 3 wings. Man, they gave me 3 wings, man. I tore that wing apart and saw all the grease coming out of it.
Really? Ooh.
But that's the way that it is right now with me with French fries. It's very difficult for me to eat French fries because I could see the grease. I could see the grease. Every time I'm eating French fries now, it's like, yeah, you eating potatoes, but you eating grease too.
And you're introducing hostility into your system,
Isn't that something?
isn't it?
And that's how people, what about people who have sugar diabetes and continue to eat, donuts and coffee with 5 sugars
And the starchy items that turns to sugar.
and the starchy items that turn to sugar.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Decisions.
hostile introducing
Mm-hmm.
into a hostile environment and you don't even know it. I discussed with you the other day, Martha, that I made this some concoction. And the concoction was a vegetable concoction that I made the vegetable concoction and then I made the vegetable soup. And
Mm-hmm.
then I made the vegetable soup. I took the vegetable soup and then I put it in the Ninja. Y'all know what a Ninja
A
is, right?
grinder. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in the
A
Ninja.
pureer.
Yeah, pure, and like I I was doing that for a while, and then I realized, after I drank it, I didn't feel good.
Oh no?
No, and that's because, with my health condition, I can't have high potassium foods.
Neither can I. Right.
But I'm eating spinach. Spinach is high in potassium.
The black beans, they're high in potassium.
I'm eating beets. Like I'm eating spinach, I'm eating beet. They got iron in it and all you know. But it's not good for me. I got to find another way. I eat
Mm.
lower potassium foods, so I had to take those items out. But I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. When you don't know, you don't know.
When you don't know, you don't know.
But Allah sent you a messenger.
Right. And the other part is that I was having some problems as far as, and I know that a lot of people are going through this today, especially as far as viruses are concerned. They say viruses, whereas they're having problems as far as breathing is concerned.
Mm.
And, I'm thinking, that, I'm having some problems as far as my lungs are concerned. I'm coughing. And I realized that I would get rid of the cough, but the cough would come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to see my doctor, and the doctor said, well, you know what? It might be lung cancer that you got going on. We want to do a test on your lungs, to do your lung cancer. I said, okay. Because I have insurance. So, my insurance is covered. I got a call, and the doctor said, well, the hospital said, yeah, the test is going to cost $40,000 and your responsibility is $3,000 on it. I didn't want to get that touch done. Man, what? I don't want
Hostile to your bank account, right?
I don't want to pay no $3,000 for you just to do a test.
Mm.
You're
On
just gonna do it
guesswork.
on the test, and then the test come back because I've done that before. The hospital convinced me that, well, you get this test, you do this test, and you do the test, and we'll be able to get more information. We'll be able to. And then I go ahead and give in and say, yeah, well, okay, let's do the test. And then come back, yeah, well, we wasn't able to find anything. What after you talk about you wasn't able to find out? And then the doctor got an attitude with me. Of course, he couldn't find anything with the test. And so it's like, man, we have to learn how to stop putting things into our environment that are hostile to our environment.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop doing that. We have to stop putting things. I had to stop with the grease from
Mm-hmm.
Popeye's fried chicken. I had to stop
Do your own chicken.
because it was hostile to my environment.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop with the sugar situation because it was hostile to my environment. So here it is, we talking about Muslims. We talking about Muslims. We having this conversation here, American Muslim 360 and a New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. How many other people are listening to us? How many other people are listening to us right now?
Assalamu
Walaikum
Alaikum
assalam.
assalam.
Ishmael.
Yeah, that reminds me of we were listening to Fahim's Wave the other day, pain and suffering. A lot of times we can't control the pain, but we can control the suffering by the steps we make to, to alleviate it. So it sounds like you're saying that, we have to make the changes so that we don't continue to suffer. A lot of times you can't escape the pain though. So I think that sounds like what you're saying. And I'll stop there.
It is definitely, you're definitely right. That is definitely what we're saying. But then, it's our responsibility to make the decision. Kareem Hamid.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. In respecting our body, in the judgment, we won't be able to verbally speak. But it says that our body parts, they shall speak. So I don't know how that works, I haven't been there. But our body speaks to us while we are yet living. The hair stands up, the nerves, the palms get sweaty, the eyes roll around in your head when you are getting ready to do something that you know is wrong. The panting breath and the looking around. That's the body talking to us.
Yes.
So we should listen to the body before the judgment.
That's right, because the body gonna speak against you.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'll stop right there.
The body gonna say, well, like Allah gonna say, yeah, so you knew that fried chicken. I really didn't want you to come right now. I wanted to let you go a little longer, but you kept eating that fried chicken. And you know it wasn't good for you, so why'd you do that? Well, like I knew it was time for me to die, because I said if it's my time, it's my time. And this is what people say. This is what people say. If it's my time, it's my time. But I'm gonna keep on drinking that soda, and I'm gonna continue to eat pork fried rice. I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna keep on doing. Yeah, but the thing is that it wasn't your time. Yeah.
Right.
So why'd you do it? He said, well, I was ready to come to the Lord.
Allah does not forgive suicide. And that is what you're expressing now.
Right.
Suicide.
Right. You intentionally killing yourself.
Yes.
And I was watching a series, the Game of Thrones, and we're going to talk about that on Sunday. Inshallah, we'll talk about Game of Thrones. But one of the big deals in the Game of Thrones is that they're always drinking wine. It's just they drink wine like they drink water. I'm talking, and this here is a Game of Thrones is a series. It's a made up story, but they're always drinking wine. Throughout the whole series. I mean, I don't care how bad things get, man. And the main characters always have some wine, always have some wine going on, in that series. But like in the other movies, and I say this to you, brothers and sisters, on the basis that I went to school to study media, and I especially film and media studies. That's what I went to school to study. So when I look at films now, when I look at movies and films and things like that, I look at it from a perceptive point of view, and I look for things called tropes and motifs that are in there, to see why did ask the question, well, why did they put this in there? Just like, in many of the gangster movies, the guy will always be smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes that kill you. but they smoke cigarettes. They drink alcohol. You know, they always have a mean look on their face. They're gonna kill somebody. But you know this is what they do as far as it's concerned. So I don't really want to get into it to that degree, because you know what we've been talking about is the hostile environment, and we basically just want to stay on that, the hostile environment. Sister Martha.
Yes, and two. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, and two. Wow, as with myself, it was I figured, okay, I'm not going to drink the Pepsis like I used to drink, the 2 liters at my bedside.
Wow.
I had to drink that 2 liter, like that 2 liter was nothing to go through, even if some of it went flat. And so and then I said to myself one day, let me find the real sugar ones. Right? Say that's better. So I was drinking these real sugar ones. And then I don't know, it's just a transformative happening. I can't even say I was concentrating on it. But my body, after, I guess I should attribute it to fasting, because my body got to the point where I just didn't have the desire. And then I connected it with the bloating.
Yeah.
So just studying the body, as Karim was speaking to, realizing and not not fooling myself, lying, I should say, lying, don't lie to yourself. So from this physical affirmation, I said, okay, let me do this. I pulled back from many things, and my health coach has said, you can have 2 Genio hot dogs a day. I said,
Yeah.
really? I can have 2? Oh, wow. Okay, let me do that. So, I've resorted to that. And then I do the cream of wheat. Now, I don't know if that's on the good, but I do cream of wheat rather than the
I love
grits.
cream of wheat. I love
Yes,
cream.
I love cream of wheat. And I cook it like I do the grits, and I don't put any salt or, of course, or any butter. I stopped buying butter in any form. I stopped buying the cheeses, um, and just use the oil, the one that they recommended,
Right.
the health coach recommended. I just put that in my cream of wheat. And then, when I buy the fresh greens, and then I cook my greens. And I use that and I had stopped buying eggs. I stopped eating them, but I found it was okay. I thought it was the eggs giving my skin scratchy kind of texture.
Right.
But now I've ruled it out. And you can't do that unless you go through the segment process of scientifically ruling out what
Beautiful.
happens when you do this. So now
Yes.
I know I don't do the sodas at all. I do the water, but now I'm at the point when I don't have Evian or Crystal, I just boil my waters. Like they used to say,
Yes.
if the water goes through some kind of thing, you at least get the parasites out of it. So
Yes.
I boil it and I put it in glass jars
Okay.
rather than any plastic.
Plastic. Yeah.
Once I
Yeah.
boil it, I pour it over and I let it cool, pour it over into glass jars, and I leave the glass jars on the counter. I don't put them in the fridge for any
Right.
cold. And
Beautiful.
they beautiful. It has proven to be for my digestive system, and of course the black seed oil. Everyone, yes, black seed oil is a staple for me. I had knee pain the other morning. I mean, real dynamic knee pain. My right knee has swollen. And I was trying to wonder, how did it do that? I mean, I was sleeping on
Right.
the floor, and
Yeah.
I said, I didn't scrub against anything.
Yeah.
I'm a sleeping bag, right? So here I am. I said, oh, you've been missing your black seed oil for a couple of days. I did the black seed oil internally.
There you go.
The fluid came out through my urinary system, and voila, no more knee pain. Now, see, if
Yeah.
I wasn't aware, I would have gone to the doctor, give me a shot, give me
And that's
blood.
what a lot of people do. A lot of people,
Exactly.
as soon as they get a little bit of pain, they'll go to they run to the doctor. And we have to learn, I don't want to say we.
Yeah.
I just want to say what I have learned. I have learned that I don't have to go to the doctor for every little thing that just like what Sister Martha is saying, and I'm sure that many of us are doing the same thing, is that we are just being much more conscious of ourselves and how food affects us, how the environment affects us to that degree. We are fortunate. We are fortunate that we are able to do that, because and I say that on the basis that I go to the city, and when I go to the city and I see people, and I see what people's situation is, that people are walking around with these big stomachs. I see people that are actually uh, um, sleeping on the streets. There are people that sleep on the streets, and you know what? Those people that sleep on the street are sometime in a better situation than a person who's got chronic kidney disease, that has sugar diabetes, uh, that is on a respirator in the hospital, because this person, they might be sleeping on the street, but their kidneys is working, their lungs are working, they get up in the morning, they have a coffee and a donut, and they're able to move around the city. The only thing is that their problem is that they don't have a place to sleep or eat. Now, how long will that situation last? How long, we don't know, but that person that's on that street like that is in a better situation. I'm sure the person that's in the hospital on a respirator, or the person that's got in the hospital for taking dialysis, or the person that's in the hospital for some other ailment, would prefer to be on the street as opposed to being in the hospital. I believe that, because one of my favorite people, that he had so much money, Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Jobs had so much money, and he couldn't stop himself from dying with all the money that he had. Couldn't stop himself from dying. It was his time.
Mm-hmm.
And see, people, many times people take that word, well, it's my time. Look, my time is going to come. There's no question. My time is going to come. William Kareem's time is going to come. But I tell you right now, William Kareem going to do everything that he can to stay here as long as he possibly can.
Mm-hmm. Seek life over death.
I'm going to stay here as long as I possibly can. But there's some people who get to a point, they say, well, I guess it's my time. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to change the way I eat. I'm not going to change my habits. I guess my time is coming. So, the doctor done told me it's my time is coming.
Mm.
There's nothing else that they can do for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enjoy myself for the last remaining time that I have. I'm going to do what I want to do. You follow what I'm saying,
Yeah,
y'all?
and then they experienced they didn't go yet, and they're miserable.
It
And our
wasn't
heart goes out to them because they're defying. They're
any day
defying.
now. Any day now.
Yes. And doctor, I thought you said I'll be gone 6 months ago.
Any day
Or
now.
and so if what having a God other than the God
Yeah.
thou shall not have any other gods before me.
When am I going to die, doctor? Any day now. Any
Any-
day now. How much time I got, doc? Well, you got about 6 months.
And guess what I've experienced? The doctor saying that to a client, to a patient, and then a new doctor enters the room, and say, unfortunately, your doctor passed away.
Mm.
Yeah. One client of mine, the female doctor, she went on one of those parachute dropping, not parachute, one of those
Yeah,
bungee,
yeah,
and it wouldn't expand, it wouldn't open. And of course, she collided with the ground. Now her patient was already 90 years old.
right.
So praise be to Almighty God. And that patient that I'm speaking of, she's since passed on. But when I met her, uh, her daughter spoke of it like, and her daughter has since passed as well, before the mother. But the mother was sitting like she was stuffed and had been positioned in that position. You know, her arms pretty much were away from the body somewhat. Her thighs were so thick, and her waistline was so, she was filled with nothing but fluids, a whole lot of fluids. So immediately, that's what we do, is start exercising the limbs and allowing that circulation to happen, and getting her standing up, just simply standing up, and asking her to take deep breaths, and then rolling and moving the limbs and all of that. Do you know her skin got so supple to where she was able to comfortably sit in a chair and wheelchair, and we go out on walks and talks and all of that, and she felt so much better. But it was just, and then too, those, well, I won't talk about that, I'll just say she got better,
There
so
you
much
go.
better that she was able to appreciate life.
There you go. There you go. That's it. That's it. And I was talking to somebody the other day. Yeah. Well, I was remembering, really.
Mhm.
I was remembering my father was in a bad situation, and he said, look, I got to go to the hospital. Now, my father's alcoholic, definitely alcoholic. And I would go and see him on the first of every month. And I'd go see him on the first every month because this is how he got me to come and see him.
Mhm.
Because he said, you come to see me on the first every month, and I'll give you a little something. And
Mhm.
I could be out there in the streets, I'd be playing, I'm doing everything else. But when the first hit, man, listen, something automatically came into my mind. Go see your father. So this time I went to see my father, and he said, look, I need to go to the hospital. I'm not feeling well, you know, um, but I want to take a bath before I go to the hospital. He said, so come by and see me tomorrow so I can get in the tub and take a bath. I didn't come and see him till about 5 days later.
What?
And that was because, and so when I finally came to see him, he said, didn't I tell you I was sick and I needed to get to the hospital? And I just stood there with this stupid look on my face. But the truth of the matter was, I didn't understand what sickness was.
Mm.
I'm a teenager. I don't know what sickness is. I don't know what he was feeling. I don't know what sickness is. So,
You
Sister
knew what
Martha,
you were feeling was okay.
what I was feeling was okay. But when somebody says, when you talking when young people who don't feel sick,
Mm-hmm.
and their parents says, well, like mommy's not feeling good today. And, a child don't understand that.
Mm-mm.
A child don't understand what that is. So your patient, Sister Martha,
Mm-hmm.
who who knows what sickness is to be bloated and sit in that position and then to get better, she appreciated because she knows what it is. She
Yes.
knew what it is to be that far gone. And to be like, yo, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get better because this is a bad situation. And then here it is, you all helped her to get better.
I mean,
Yeah, that's something that you could tell that she appreciates because a human being appreciates living.
When we don't realize, and like you spoke of that lungs earlier, you don't realize the working that these organs do. And they're organs because they're organized by the creator to
I mean,
perform.
that's
And
right.
they submitted their will to perform as the
For
creator.
you, for
Yes,
you
specifically.
specifically. They are, that's one thing that I recognized about my body. Today, I consider my body my best friend
Mm,
that's going to look out for me
hmm
no matter what.
It's going
My
to tell
body
you.
going to look out for me to the bitter end. The person that's an alcoholic, their body looks out for them to the bitter end. You
hmm
giving them alcohol? Yeah. You smoking cigarettes? Okay, this is what you giving me. Okay, I'm gonna have to use this. I'm gonna have to take what I can get from it in order to survive. But if you keep on going, we're not going. This is why your knee hurt.
Yeah. Or this is why you have those sleepless nights, or this is why you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
nerve situation or what
yeah.
have you. And oh, you expect me after all of that, you expect me to take you to the other corner? Expect me to walk you to the other corner?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best to
The
get
legs
you.
and the feet say they're gonna try, but the liver is saying,
We're
look,
gonna
I
try.
have an
They
important.
still gonna, but the liver's still gonna try.
But I'm just saying the legs and the arms and the feet, they're not hurting.
No, but
And
your
then
body, that's what I'm saying. That the
mm-hmm,
body, you could destroy your liver as much as you possibly can. The liver's gonna try to carry you as far as it could carry you. Your
mm-hmm,
lungs are going to carry you. Your heart, the heart of every human being is going to try to carry you as
mm-hmm,
far as they can. And so our responsibility is to give the aid and assistance
right.
to these organs that are doing everything that they can to keep us here.
I mean,
Because this, like you said, like Kareem, I mean, he said because like we get in there, your body gonna speak against you.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
time to
So
speak is out. You did all
right,
that talking, no
right.
more.
Right. Is it what happened as far as your liver's concerned? Hey, listen, the liver gonna say, listen, I did the best that I could. I did the
Mm-hmm,
best. I carried him as far as I could carry him, man. But he just kept on. He kept going. Nah, hey, listen, he just kept on drinking. He knew the drinking wasn't good for him.
mm-hmm,
Look, look, he knew that sugar wasn't good for him. But he just look, he just kept on feeding me sugar. He just kept, and I did the best that I could with him. I did the best that I could, but he just kept on feeding me. So I had to do the best that I could with what he gave me.
mm-hmm.
And Allah, I'm going to tell him, is that true? Is that true?
And you wishing that you could say something, but your record is already written.
Is that true? Is that true that you kept on giving your body sugar? Even when is that true? Um 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 well, now you're lying.
Mm-hmm. As my mother would say, and the truth ain't in you.
Lying and the truth ain't in you. That's right. That's right. So alhamdulillah, um, this here is Juma Friday that we're on, and we're talking about cultural. Which one is this? This is cultural connections.
Connections.
Yeah,
Cultural connections.
this is cultural connections. We started off talking about Sister Martha started us this morning talking about skeptics, misinformation, and faith revealed information and hostile environments. And, we went a little further into the whole idea about hostile environments that just in the environment that we're in, the misinformation that's in our environment, but also the misinformation that can be in our own selves and our
Mhm.
own hearts and minds about the way that, we gather information about ourselves. And sometimes, we just don't know. but but it's our responsibility to find out, because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't find out what's good for the self, then the self is going to suffer. The self is going to suffer. My whole situation as far as high potassium is concerned, I had to find out about that.
You
I
had to
thought I was
seek
doing the best.
knowledge, didn't you?
Right, I had to, because the thing is, I thought I was doing the right thing by eating spinach and beets, which are high potassium foods, and come to find out that it's not good for me. I had to stop eating, Popeyes because it's just, maybe when I was younger, maybe as a teenager or something like that. But at this age,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, we have to make the adjustments that we have to make for the environments that we're in today.
And to understand that taking care of our self situation, especially the health, because this is our mode of transportation. And information is a mode of transportation, but this is our physical mode of transportation. And so, realizing or recognizing, coming to terms with, wow, really? Because you can't throw up the thing and say, I don't have a car, or I don't have money to catch the bus, I don't have a bicycle, I don't have a scooter. Well, you got, my mother would say, you got Pat and Turner. Pat your feet and turn the corners. And you'll get you'll get to your location.
Pat and
You pat your feet and turn the corner. So the idea that we've been given our natural transportation,
Yes.
and information though is what equips us to know how to plan it out. And you start, my mother would say also, you start, you put one foot forward, God will do the rest. You just keep putting one foot forward, and God will take over and do the rest. Send somebody your way who has a car, or someone give you money that had for you to catch the public transportation. Whatever the case is, you go with the energy and the enthusiasm. And so we have this life to really make it what it should be. And I say that in the context of the enslaved period, back to that burning of the
Yes.
metals,
Yes.
taking the impurities out. And truly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the impurity that could have been in us, and that is the hatred and revenge and just totally get back, right? Like I spoke of, siblings do. But to really take that out of us, that is not our main goal. Our goal, revenge, revenge in the way that it occurred, no, that's not in us, not even in the worst of our thinking. So the idea then is, how do we climb that mountain of what was the word you just used, that mountain of, I'll just say, doing ourselves harm. And the main thing is traveling information wise. Let's migrate. Let's go through. I don't know if we can call it the Exodus, but let's take advantage of what is before us. And that is, we still have our minds, and our bodies can be renewed, because it says every 7 years the cells are renewed. And that's based on the principle that Almighty God has put in as an advantage for us. You've done your body wrong. Guess what? There's a renewal process. And it doesn't have to take 100 years. Praise be to Almighty God.
And I will say this, and we'll say this too. And this is something that we all know. We know that as the human creation, that we have advanced as the human creation from the time of Adam, Prophet Adam, the Homo sapien, the Neanderthal, that we have continued to progress to this time that we're in today, that the human being, because we are all part of the human family. When we talk about humans, that we are part of the human family. And I asked the question, how did Noah live 950 years? How did he live 950 years? Well, in reflecting back, Noah was the third prophet. So there weren't as many people on the planet of Earth as there was, as it is today. The fruits, we talk about fruits and vegetables and the air and the water, all of it was, much healthier. So the possibility existed, whereas he could live, 950 years. That's the way that I look at it. That, I could see that, and the Quran says that, and Moses and Noah lived for 1,000 years minus 50. But the earth was much purer. Everything was much purer at that time. My daughter the other day, she said, "Oh wow, I ate some of the strawberries. The strawberries taste so fresh. They so fresh. They were so good. But they're organic strawberries. They're supposed to taste like strawberries. You got strawberries out here that people buy that are conventional. They call them conventional. But they look like strawberries, but they don't taste like strawberries. They look like strawberries. They look like apples, but if you don't know what the taste of an apple is, and our young people don't know what the taste of an apple is. So you have to give them organic so that they see what the taste of an apple is. You or all of the fruits. You have to give them a taste of the organic so that because they have so much fake stuff out here today. And people buy it on the basis that, like it's cheaper. It's cheaper, so they buy it. Well, I can get a bag of apples for $1.99, and then they got a bag of apples for $5.99. What's the difference? What's the difference in these apples? Well, they both look like apples, but you open a bag of, and I've tried it. You open the bag of apples for $1.99, they don't even taste like apples. You pay $5.99 for organic apples, and that's where the real taste of it of what an apple tastes like. But there's some people that just can't they can't afford it. So they go with the $1.99. Why? Because I gotta feed my family. I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give all my children go get an apple.
Because we went by the thing too. An apple a day. Come on,
Yes,
finish it out. Keeps
that's
the
right.
doctor away.
That's right. That's right. But
And we didn't
misinformation.
know it was going to turn to a no seed apple, a no seed watermelon, a no seed grape, a no seed. Right.
And someone said, I saw a video recently where a guy said he's supposed to be a doctor too, and this is a lot of misinformation that they have. You know, giving your children grapes is giving them a sugar ball, and just as much sugar in one grape as in grapes as there is in a chocolate candy bar. That is misinformation.
That's right. Because there's a big difference between the processing sugar and the natural sugar.
Right, because the natural sugar, they call it fructose.
And it gets used in the body in a
Yes.
way that's more healthier.
So now suppose you don't know that.
And I had my grandchildren where I would we after going to a diabetic classes, we learned just for educational sake. We learned that 15 grapes is equal to whatever amount of ounces or servings of what it carbohydrates during the day. Then you can count 15 grapes, and that's counted as one. So
Mm.
they my grandchildren got used to that. Got that, and of course I was into the yogurt. Um, they would get that, and they get bananas were real then too.
Right. Another high potassium food,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
bananas. I love bananas. They're easy to eat, but they're not good for me.
I had to stop it as well.
Yeah.
Don't know. I don't know whether the black beans caused my potassium level to be high, but I loved those black beans. But now I
Yes.
see them and I say, nope, Nope, you and I. Let me go with lentil.
Oh, lentils are, though, thanks for telling me because I've been doing black beans. Uh, um, so lentils is better. So
Yes.
I'm gonna definitely try those lentils. So anything that, anything else. What's the name of that program that comes on American Muslim 360 about the health?
Oh yeah, optimal health on
Optimal health.
5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Mondays. So
Monday.
that's with Imam Abdul Hafiz Shahid. And again, you're listening for information and you know your position and you know your situation. Take it in stride. Take it in stride. Rather
Yes.
than rather than combating, like I did at one point, combating the idea, oh, these things are expensive. Oh, it's symptometry. Are they the only one with the answer? Oh, that was my. So see, I caused fitna within myself,
Right. Yeah. I see what
and
you mean.
then
Yeah.
I opened the door to my mind, and I said, "Wait a minute."
Skepticism or skeptic. You use a skeptic, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But in skepticism, everyone, let me do it justice. It serves its purpose when it is aligned with not being a barrier to the outcome. It wants the facts. You want the facts. You want to make sure that you have everything clear understanding. And once you get that, don't continue the skepticism.
Right. Right. Once you find out the truth, like when the doctor told me, he said, "Listen, we need to do this test on you, but it's going to cost $40,000 and you're going to pay $3,000." That was the truth.
That was the truth. And that 3,000 was oh, stuff a lot. Everyone, I'm saying it in this way.
That was
Well, maybe I shouldn't even tease. I was going to say, and that 3,000 was going in his pocket.
that's like, yo, man. It's like, yo, man. Listen, okay, we gonna have to find another way, because y'all just trying to do a test for $40,000. You want me to pay 3,000? That's a test.
Giving you
Nah,
any kind of guarantee, right?
right, right. I need some kind of guarantee for that. But so I was skeptic. I was like, man, listen, but they gave me the truth. They gave me the truth. That's what we
Now,
want
what
to
you do
do.
with the truth is that you can't
That's what
handle
we
the
want to
truth,
do.
right?
We gonna give $40,000 for giving you a test, and you gonna pay $3,000 on that 40,000.
Thirty
We gonna charge you,
thousand
yeah,
dollars,
and we gonna charge you your insurance company. You gonna charge them 40.
and the insurance company's going to say, "Well, that other exam that you need, the other one that's coming behind that, we just spent 40,000. You won't be getting that other one."
So but we appreciated the truth though,
Mm, that's the matter of fact.
so that I could make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to find another way around that situation to
Mm-hmm.
find to do like we've been talking about, to do the internal investigation
Yes.
to find out, well, what is causing this and what is it that I can do. Because one thing that I have found and I experienced, especially as far as the older woman that was, that was bloated, and like she was able to, come down. And that is, that if you find the solution to the problem, you will feel better. You'll
I
feel better.
mean,
And so,
don't abort the process. Go through it.
right. And when you feel when you feel the results, when you are feeling the results, then trust that and continue to do that, because because there are times that, like, you see the results and they say, like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and eat the Popeyes fried chicken anyway.
You've been like, in other words, you're considering that to be a reward to yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
see?
yeah, 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 yeah. So I'm gonna get the Popeyes fried chicken. And as soon as I eat the Popeyes fried chicken, it's like bang. Oh man. Well, you knew it was gonna happen.
Hmm.
You knew it was gonna happen.
You
So
didn't
now you
get
gotta start all over again.
all over again. That's like eating that piece of pork meat. Nothing wrong with the hog, everyone. It was created to be good. The pig was created to do its work, but to be ingested, digested, no, into the human, no. So you think you're saying, "Wow, I do not eat pork," and then one thing you eat it, and then you read the ingredients, doing it the reverse way. and you see on there way down in the bottom, you see pork, a name of something that you know it is pork, gelatin or whatever, and you say, "Oh wow!" And we were told it takes 7 years, like the blood recycles every 7 hours, but it says it takes 7 years, 7 years for that piece of whatever to get out of your system. I don't know. But for the blood to recycle in 7 hours, I put my hand, I hang my hat on that one.
Well,
That
because you mentioned that pork, I want you to know that, Sunday we're going to, with Allah's assistance, inshallah, right here on Cultural Insights, where American Muslim 360 and New Day Community Radio, uh, we want to have a discussion about, this very popular movie that's out right now that's called The Odyssey. And The Odyssey is a book that was written by Homer. I think it was some centuries before Jesus Christ, and it actually got here. It's a Greek. It was a Greek book that was written. So it has a lot of Greek mythology. But you know that when we talk about, and again, this was this was the understandings that the Greeks had at that time, and the person that was, his name was Homer. He put together this fantasy, or he could get together this story that became very popular in Greek, in the Greek culture, in the Greek environment, and they started to translate and everything, and it's just like Arabian Nights is another that became very popular, in Arab culture, just because some writer, the person who had written about it, they did a very good job of telling the story. So, recently they made this movie that's called The Odyssey, and we're going to discuss it on Sunday, uh, and it has a lot to do with pork.
mm-hmm.
Well done, very well done.
I got one comment to make. This is very interesting. If you don't
Okay.
mind. The Quran is very specific about what to do and what not to do. And in the Quran it says, "Do not eat the flesh of the pig."
Mm-hmm.
It's controversy where the beverages from pork are used in medicine, and Muslims are saying, can we take that medicine? Are we supposed to? And I just want to keep it real simple. It said don't eat the flesh, and the derivative is not actual flesh. I mean, since we family, I'm saying this, but I don't put it out publicly. I just advise people to just truly look into it further. And my understanding, it was others outside of, it was scholars that took it a step further about what we shouldn't do and should do concerning certain things. And I'll leave it at that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And too, as you said that, Ishmael, I thought about the hairbrush that are made with boar something, and in the medical field, in on the surgical floor I was working, they use the cat gut lining to help what you call it, seam a person's problem internally on
Right.
whether it was their not ovaries but the bladder, and then they use something from the pig as well for the same purpose. So like you say, inject digesting, eating it for food purpose. That is what it is. And then two, don't I mean seek life over death. So if that is what all you have, and you're facing hunger, praise be to Almighty God. Seek life over death for
Yes,
the moment.
Karim Hamid has his hand raised.
Yes, sir. Come right on in. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, wa alaikum assalam. Praise be to Allah. Imam Wazidir Muhammad have given me a clear understanding. We're not to consume the flesh
Mm-hmm.
of swine, and we definitely hold to that. But there is a higher reading.
Mm-hmm.
The behavior of swine the despicable noises that they make, their behavior, how they'll eat anything, and how they do not have a system uh, operating within them to flush the poisons out of their system. We want to behave. You know, there are some people that behave like swine. They have no moral barometer. They will say and do anything. They will sleep with anybody. They'll do anything. There's the behavior of the swine. So on a higher reading, do not take up the behavior and the disposition of the swine. Now, Imam Muhammad has said, and he's correct, we used to really condemn the pig. Oh boy, we call it a flat-nosed rat, a hairless
Mhm.
worm, a no good this and a no good that. Oh, we would just demonize the pig. But Allah created the pig. And Allah created everything concerning its utility, how it functions. Praise be to Allah, how it functions. He's a good pig. He is behaving like Allah created him as
Mhm.
a pig. So don't condemn the pig, you know. It can't act outside of its own nature, but don't you take on the behavior and the nature of the pig. But he's a good pig. And don't tell me he don't taste good.
Mhm.
You know, no, don't tell me he don't taste yet. Look at how many people eat him. Matter of fact, one of my Lord's sacrifices in becoming Muslim, one of the best cut of meat that I love was pork chops and
Mhm.
fried corn. Allah says, do not eat it. I don't eat it. But based of all, don't take on the behavior of the pig. So I think that's a higher reading. And we still do not eat the flesh of swine. We don't. But we don't condemn the pig as that he's an evil something. No, Allah, everything Allah created, and it is
I
good.
mean, I
I'll
mean,
stop. Thank you.
alhamdulillah. Very well,
Alhamdulillah.
very well said, Kareem Hamid, especially, and I think that those of us that are listening can understand what you said and how you meant it. We don't have to question what you said, Kareem Hamid, because, you're right that it was, we understand, especially as far as being Muslim, that the pig was created for its utility, even though Allah told us not to eat it, not to eat the flesh of the swine, that it was created for its utility. And there are a lot of people, and there are probably a lot of Muslims that would not accept that at all. Yeah, yo, cat, especially the cat, rat, and dog thing. Pig is made out of cat, rat, and dog.
Mhm.
And the things that they say about the history of the pig, that after the flood happened, the pig, ate up, was used to clean up the earth. And
Mhm.
I mean, I have seen movie. Well, I remember one series. It was called Deadwood. Deadwood was a series about the early West, and in the early West they would have these shootouts and things like that, and they would feed the dead people to the pigs. They just take the whole body and put it in the pig pen, and the pigs would eat up the dead bodies. Now I don't know if that's true or not, or maybe it's so gross that it's not something that people will talk about. But I've seen it in more than one um, uh, 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 story presentation, about the West, or and not even only about the West, but also in other fictional during the time of uh, uh, knights and armor and things like that. I've seen that situation. So I don't know, they say that the pig was created for its utility. And I don't know if one of the utilities is you feed a pig, you put a pig in you put a human being in the pig pen and he'll eat it up. But I did see in Whole Foods, which is a store that I shop in, that they had something that's called organic pigs.
No.
No, they had organic pork chops.
Right.
Okay, so they saying they got it from the real deal.
Or, but it's organic. It's
Yeah.
like organic. It's
It's
like
the
what?
original. Now,
You know,
we did use fatback for our sores and things. Our parents used that as a medicinal healing.
Yeah,
you
go
know,
ahead, Kareem.
we eat a lot of chicken, don't
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
we? The chicken eats its own mess.
Thanks for telling us that, Kareem.
No, but
Thank you, Kareem.
but a chicken has a gizzard,
Right.
which right, it cleans. The gizzard operates as a depositor for the waste.
Wow.
A
That's good
pig,
to know.
Oh,
yes,
you say Allahu Akbar, huh?
yes, Allah created that system. A pig does not have a system like that. It doesn't. But we still eat. We eat, and chicken is lawful for us to eat.
And
It is
and
lawful.
so I remember chicken gizzards, but chicken gizzards is a snack also, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they sell it at Kentucky Fried. Every chicken joint that sell gizzards. But I'm just saying, you
Oh
know,
man.
so that everything Allah created
I mean,
is excellent and it has its utility.
yes.
Even and at one time in small towns, they had everyone rode horses and cattle through town. The horses would excrement in the street, in
Right.
the and they would drive a herd of sheep through the streets, and the pigs would eat the excrement and clean the streets.
From the horse?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. He would eat. Yes, sir. That's how they used before they came up with a more better system,
Yes,
street
yes.
food.
Well, thank Allah that we thank Allah that better system is in place because we having these conversations and these real conversations and I got we don't have to well, we don't even have to worry about horses anymore. I mean, not in the city. Maybe because Kareem, like, do they have horses out there where you at?
Um, in the city, I don't see any,
Okay, all right.
but there's a
We
place,
have on the farms that
right,
they,
right.
yeah,
We,
especially when they train people on
right.
horses.
We have Clydesdale horses here,
Oh, yes.
Oh,
symbolic
okay.
of
Right,
another forbidden thing, intoxicants. Budweiser
right.
was
Yeah, I
beer.
remember that. Yep, from the commercials. Yes, sir. I remember that.
Yes. So, and everyone prized the Clydesdales.
Right. Yeah.
Everything Allah has created is
Okay.
good
Okay.
if we use it for the utility that Allah provided for that thing to be, utilized. So let's not condemn the pig. When they are born, they
Mhm.
look so cute, little fat,
I
little.
know, right? And
Yeah.
especially when you put lipstick on. Who is that put lipstick
Oh my God. Ishmael, go
But
ahead.
on?
There's a term called rendering, where
Who?
you convert an animal. Rendering, RENDERING, rendering. That's what I think that, and that's a process that animals go through, even pigs. And it's an industrial process. It separates the flesh, the carcass, and makes products. So it becomes fat, protein, other materials, food, pharmaceutical, and industrial use. So when I say the crop is very specific, it says don't eat the flesh of the pig. I'm just putting this out there for people to do their own studies. When something is rendered, it's no longer flesh. It becomes derivatives,
Yeah,
and it can
chemical.
be used in different methods.
Mhm.
So I just take people to do their own study and then come to their own conclusions when we're making certain decisions. And I'll stop there.
Yeah, it says animal and food processing, animal rendering, recycling leftover meat trimmings, fat, and bone tissues by cooking and separating them into useful products like pet food, ingredients, soap, and biofuels.
Mhm.
Is that what you mean, Ishmael?
Yeah, so the gelatin. The gelatin is a derivative. That's not flesh. So these are the things I'm talking about when we're coming to our own decisions, especially here in the US, where we're
Mhm.
making decisions and making sure that we are coming together and having these discussions to determine, how we should look at things.
Gotcha. Because I did mention gelatin, and that's what we were influenced by in the days of the Knox gelatin and the Jellos that I loved Jello. Uh, Alhamdulillah. But this is very good. Like you say, we're rising, and we find out where we thought we were rising and we're falling, but we're rising, we're evolving, and information it helps us to transform.
Sister
So
Martha,
alhamdulillah. Yes, sir.
yes, a jello. It yes, it is from the the fat of the pig.
Mm, mm.
It is from the
Yeah.
fat of the pig. That's what it is gelled, you know,
Mm.
Mhm.
gelled. It's in kind of a semi solid state, but I don't I avoid I don't eat jello that uh comes from pigs.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
I had to stop. That bothered me too because I had to stop eating Jello, and I love Jello.
And
When
that's what
I
I
found out,
mean.
yeah, when I found out it was in a pig, I was like, it was something else I can't eat, man. I can't eat no bacon. I can't eat pork chops, which was two of my favorites.
Yeah.
Kareem,
Sausage
it's
and
like
baked pork chop was mine.
sausage, yeah, and it's like, man. Jello and a whole lot of other, products, but those were major. Anything that had pork in it, we had that idea, but you know, I think that, what was talking about as far as the animal rendering, it says not
Medicinal use. Yes,
right,
sir.
right. You said that well, I guess each of us have to come to our own conclusion about
Mhm.
whether we should use it if it has, some medicinal use or whatever in it, to that degree. But I'll tell you all this story. I've told it before, I'm sure, that like I'm on the job, so I ordered a sandwich, and I think this is a special sandwich that they make.
They make
Uh,
the meat from boar's heads.
no, 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 no.
Oh.
They made this sandwich. Where they have corned beef pastrami, right? Corned beef pastrami. They put coleslaw. What do you call that sandwich?
Mhm.
When you go corned beef pastrami coleslaw, you put all that together and it makes this sandwich. And
Aruba.
yeah, that's what it is. A Reuben. Right. So this time, I'm working and so I ordered the sandwich, and when I got the sandwich there, um, it had corned beef, it had pastrami, it had ham,
Oh.
and it had coleslaw, etc.
Salam. Okay.
And so I'm like, oh man. So what I did is I took the ham off and I ate the sandwich.
Mhm.
My coworkers was watching me.
Mm-mm.
Now they ain't Muslim. But it's like, yo, you wasn't supposed to eat that because it had pork on it. You wasn't, the pork touched the bread. You wasn't supposed to eat it. And I was like, Lord, but I took the pork off. And it wasn't like it was hot, a hot pork, a hot sandwich. It was a cold sandwich that had cold meat on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like the meat was, cooked to that degree. It just had the meat on it. And so, like I just took the meat off and yeah, you wasn't supposed to eat that, because like, yo, listen, it had pork on you. And they went to another Muslim.
But
Dead.
even the Christian scripture said, do not eat the flesh of swine, nor that which the flesh of swine has touched. So
Yeah, so
there
you
are.
wouldn't have ate, so you wouldn't have ate the sandwich, Kareem.
Oh, no, sir. No, no,
Okay.
no, I would not have.
Okay. Well,
Because there,
there's a thing, Kareem. Let me just say this.
there,
Let me just
the,
say this, Kareem. Yeah. I ate the sandwich. I was
oh,
on my break.
yeah.
I was
Alhamdulillah.
on my, man, I was on my break, man. Yo, man,
Allah won't send you to hell for
it's, I
that.
don't know, man, Kareem. I don't know, Kareem, because I'm telling you, they went to another Muslim brother and told him that I ate a sandwich that, even though I took the pork off of it, they was like, yo, man, he ate the sandwich, right? He wasn't supposed to eat it, right? And the other Muslim brother said, that's right, he wasn't supposed to eat the sandwich. And I was
According
like,
to the Christian was speaking, I don't know whether he was speaking from his scripture, or just trying to antagonize you, but their
Causing
scripture,
fitna.
it prohibits them from eating that which the flesh of swine has touched.
well,
That is their scripture. Ours doesn't say that.
yeah, and I'll tell you this here, I'm very thankful to Imam W.D. Muhammad. And I ain't putting it on him, but I think that, there was a certain logic that I had,
Mm-hmm.
that put me in a circumstance and situation, whereas, yo, this is what the situation is. You got to make a decision as far as this sandwich is concerned. Look, just take the pork off and eat the rest of the sandwich, man.
But Imam Muhammad was at a dinner or somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and they had put pork on his plate. Now, not to insult his guest, he pushed the pork aside and ate the meal.
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah.
So there it is.
There
There
it
it is.
is, right there.
There it is,
Yeah.
right there. There's the answer.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Imam W.D. Muhammad, man. Coming
Yes,
to us
sir.
in the
Yes,
American
sir.
circumstance, man.
You bring us to sanity.
That's right. That's right. That is
Yeah, keeping
exactly
us
what
balanced. I mean, because we throw things to the extreme and tilt the thing, and the seesaw will be imbalanced.
it
Yes,
would.
ma'am. You're
It
right.
would. It definitely would, man. So we come to the end of the program for me.
Mm-hmm. And
Because this is
for us here too, we'll be off for an hour, and we'll come back at 1 p.m. to go to share your Juma, and that's
yeah,
from the
here's
East
you.
Coast to the Central Coast to the West Coast, and it will be. Let's see here. Let me show you an advertisement as well, everyone, before you leave, William. Okay, here, Imam Abdullah Aziz, who is our
Yeah, he was
coordinator.
on for a minute. He came on for a minute
Oh, okay.
and then he left.
Then our as the coordinator of Share Your Juma, today is August, what is it? The 7th. So
Yeah,
today from the East Coast, we will be hearing, inshallah, from Mustafa White of Masjid Adam, right where Imam Abdulaziz is in New York, Bronx, New York. And that's
right.
at 1 p.m. And then today, August 7th, in the Central, will be Imam Khalil El Amin of Dothan, Alabama, Islamic Center in Dothan, Alabama. And then we go
Alhamdulillah.
over to none other than Imam Fahim
Fahim
Shuaib.
Shuaib.
So we will be hearing from Imam Fahim Shuaib. Oh, he is so comical at the end of his
He's
presentations.
wonderful, wonderful.
One,
We're
he's
so
so down to
fortunate.
earth.
So fortunate to have him as in our community. So fortunate.
I mean, so
Because
everyone,
he would have been a great minister.
because he could throw those jokes in between, right?
See, I can say that to you all.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that
Imam
to you all.
Muhammad used comical language to
Yes.
lighten
That's
us
right.
up. Yes, he did.
That's
I
right.
mean, he'll have you rolling.
That's right. That's right. So I want to say I'm so very thankful to be with you all today on Cultural Connections on American Muslim 360 and A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. This is our media platform. We come together and we have our conversations with each other. And for other people that might want to come in and join us, it would be good if you did. I mean, I'm sure that you would enjoy it just as much as we do. You would enjoy it just as much, because we talk about things that are real in life, with each other. We're not trying to preach with you. We're just trying to, we're not trying to preach. We're trying to reach, and we just have conversation. That's what we're doing. We're just having conversation with each other. So, and again, I invite you this Sunday to come on to here at 10, is it 10 o'clock? Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Go join us, because we will be discussing this new movie that's out called The Odyssey, and also the Game of Thrones, GOT. And I'm want to say something about it, because me, as being a media critic and one who has studied film and media studies, I'm the insights that I got from it. I think that it would be something that like you might be interested in. And a shout out to Tariq Shaheed from Mashing Malcolm Shabazz. The first time that him and I went to the movies, we went to see this movie called The Professional, and we went to see this movie called The Professional. And he's a definitely an imam and a follower of Imam W.D. Muhammad, but he had an insight that I didn't have. And after the movie was over, he was like, "Yo, it's a good movie." I said, "Yeah, it was a good movie." And then he showed me something in the movie, and I would have never gotten that insight into the movie, because I was just looking at it as just a movie, just a movie. I wasn't looking at the ideas that was actually in the film. But he saw it and he explained it to me, and that was the motivation that got me to actually studying film and media studies. So I'd like to share that with you this Sunday, and bring your skepticism with you.
Now, or just open heart and open mind.
Open heart, open mind. Just bring it with you. This is your brother, William Kareem, talking to you. We'll be talking to you about it. And most of the time I stay, as far as but this here is, just looking into it, and some of the ideas that they have in there, and I think you would enjoy it. And so with that, Sister Martha, that's what
Yes.
I have to say. You go ahead and close
Okay.
that.
Save the date. There are three things happening. Actually, not this Saturday and it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but next Friday, Saturday, Sunday in uh oh wow. It's well anyway, there's going to be a marriage conference with Imam Salahuddin, who presented last week in Houston, Texas, as the Khatib for Central Time. This particular I have on the screen is save the date. That would be after that. It will be October 30th through November 1st. October 30th, I think they said highlights Imam W.D. Muhammad's date on the earth, born into the earth. This is beyond the IWDM 50. Were we waiting for that subconsciously? Because IWDM 50 reigned in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and all who could attended, and all who were on the sideline, they heard of it and purchased the book and what have you. I say the book, the journal. The IWDM 50 now is beyond IWDM 50. We cannot stop now. Tying it to Imam Warthi Muhammad. The location is Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. Norfolk. A gathering for community leaders. That's in resident imams, assistant imams, Shuraa board leaders, anyone, community leaders, including leaders in the areas of education, economic, cultural, and political. Tentative program overview. Chart our future after IWDM 50, strengthen masajid and key institutions, share best practices, address community challenges. All right. So that's new. Feature community leaders awards banquet. More details coming soon. So keep that in your storage mental box. And we go to the other a time to be grateful. Let's see here. Let me come off the screen for a moment so I can find it. Okay. The other is a time to be grateful. I believe we all have that synchronized in our mind. When we think of a time to be grateful, we think of the Muslim Journal, so, and like rightly so. The Muslim Journal is, let's see here, ILTDP, and we're loving the ILTDP group, Islamic Leadership Training and Development Program. Uh-oh. I found the cat, everyone, if everyone remember me stressing over, no, I didn't stress really, but stressing over the loss of the misplacement of my son's cat. While he's away, I'm supposed to be the babysitter of the cat. The cat got away, but the cat came to the car door last night when I was getting out of the car, and here she is, Cat Deja. Okay, here's the. Oh, come on through for me now. Come on. Come on. There you are. All right. And this is being beautifully done by the community there in Charlotte, North Carolina, Masjid Shahid, with a imam and his wife and uh, other coordinators. This is the 22nd annual Muslim Journal. Wow. And this is in reference truly to the business breakfast, but the time to be grateful, rooted in gratitude, rising in purpose, and featuring the well-known, I guess you can see here, Chaka A.I.L. Ali, entrepreneur. This is the business breakfast. Entrepreneur, financial literacy coach, wealth engineer, youth mentor, and founder of Wealth Builders Insurance Agency. That's Shaka A.I. Ali. Then Arissa El Amin, strategic planning, leadership, development, and coaching, helping people maximize their gifts, talents, and purpose. That's Arissa El Amin. Then next is Omadi Baka Reggie Singleton. And there he is. And he's going to be he's the founder and director of the Male's Place, PLACE, education, mentorship, culture, travel, gardening, life skills, and opportunities for the young males ages 12 to 18. All right. Then, of course, our well-known sister, Mustafa, Aisha K. Mustafa, Muslim Journal managing editor. And then the president of the board of the Muslim Journal, Imam Abdul Karim Muhammad. I always say Muhammad Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim Muhammad, Muslim Journal, A Time to Be Grateful administrator. And who's not here is, I think she's probably here on the picture somewhere, Joan Najila. But she is the overseer. And here, the coordinators for the business breakfast is Imam Tariq Abdul Mukman and none other than Khalida Akbar. They're the business breakfast. She's the chair and he's the co-chair, as they will be presenting Sunday, December 13th, 2026 from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Hilton Charlotte University Place. And it says, join us for an inspiring morning of networking, knowledge sharing, and community partnerships. Get your tickets now. Practical speakers, business growth, and goes on to say, let me give you the number. Phone number is 980-655-0109. Again, 980-655-0109. Or you can contact email wise to MASATTBG. That's just say MAS and then A Time to Be Grateful acronym. MASATTBG26@gmail.com to get more information. And to register, you can actually zoom in on this QR code and it will take you right to the registration. The overall registration for the A Time to Be Grateful, I'm sure will appear there as well. Okay, And everything else, everyone, there are meetings galore held throughout the country. Just go to a masjid, I guess I can safely say, in your location. Seek information, education, become more informed. And as we are connected through interfaith group, the group intellect, providing communities all across the board the best that we have to share. All right. We are all better together. So thank you for your being here. Thank you for your seeking out opportunities, continuing to grow and develop. Don't think that at 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, and beyond is said that we can say, oh, it's too late for me. Let me just let the young people learn. No, it's not too late. Seek knowledge until you leave here and use it. Deliver the message. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Juma, blessings of Juma. Today is day 6 of the, shall we say, week? Day 6. Tomorrow is day 7. Look forward to joining us tonight as well at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Only a short time. We're therefore bringing things to the table. You have concerns, you have solutions to the concerns. Come on in, put it on the table. Let's dissect it and talk it out. All right. Then the National Town Hall comes after that on Saturday, inshallah. Love you much, everyone. Thank you for your love. All right, here we are, and we're going to sign off.